make Candelabra Tanos, make a bunch of mana, Blue Sun Zenith you. Yeah, and then on the other side we have Eric English with
Canadian Thresh.
or some
Rug.
variety
He's playing Rug. He's playing all the good cards.
Rug, Thresh, Canadian Thresh, Next Level Thresh. He called it Canadian Thresh. Ben Weinberg sent me a text message and was like, no, that's Next Level Thresh. Not exactly sure on what the name is. The important part is it is a blue-red-green deck. For everyone else wondering, unfortunately in the finals of that draft challenge, Finkel lost. But still making it to the finals of the draft challenge here, when he didn't even plan to play in the first place, is pretty impressive. And there'll be a great report up on Star City Games. And it might already be up. So anyway, so Alix Hatfield leads on a merchant scroll here.
Yeah, it's good.
Now, Merchant Scroll's so powerful in his deck against opposing blue decks. Yeah, he fills up his hand with cards like Pact of Negation and Force of Will. We've been watching him play before. And against these decks, he just understands, like, all right, well, you can't really put this impressive clock on me that other combo decks can. So I can just sit here and I'm going to mold my hand. My hand's going to be absolutely perfect to turn I combo you. You're not going to ever force through my stuff.
So he gets put to the scroll for Pact of Negation here. And joining us in the booth is Alex Bertoncini.
What's up, guys?
Hey, who wanted to come in and talk to us a little bit about this matchup. You've been over there watching them play.
Yeah.
How's it played out so far? How's it played out so far?
Wait, I didn't watch this match, the Hatfield English match.
Oh, you've not watched it?
I didn't watch this match. No, I watched the Ely match.
Did you watch Alex play his quarterfinals match?
No, it was actually the only match I didn't watch. But I can tell you that Hatfield would definitely be favored against Ely if he made the finals, because it's just a very bad it's just a bad matchup for Ely's deck. But on the other hand, if Eric wins, it's a great matchup for Ely because I mean Eric has first of all has no way to deal with a resolved Night Developer. Like he can put a collar on a Lavamancer, which was that. But I mean he has no other way. He's like Fire Ice and stuff. He has no way to deal with a resolved Knight.
Wow.
Just in general.
So depending on how this matchup goes, it could go from
it could
great
go,
to awful.
Yeah, exactly for Ely. Yeah, it's very.
And so far there doesn't seem to be a lot of action. Alex is slowly building up his resources. He merchant scrolled for Pact of Negation. He has to preordain. And Eric English just nothing so far. Just getting some lands.
Yeah. Eric made a deep run yesterday too, didn't he?
Yeah, he was playing Rug, your faithful deck choice in the tournament.
I was giving him deck advice on it earlier.
And yeah, he did pretty well. Didn't end up making the top 8, but came back today and
yeah, he was cruising.
Yeah, cruising indeed.
So we have a bunch of repeat performances.
Yeah.
Like yesterday we had 2 people from DC, and then today we had a person from yesterday and someone else from DC.
And someone from last week too.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
yeah, so
it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, absolutely.
These are some pretty huge, big fields,
Yeah, I mean, we were talking, a field of 800 players, 600 players, even 500 players. It's the fact that you can continually make top 8s. I mean, that's just something about how skill intensive the game really is.
Exactly. Yeah. Very true.
And so Alex, think about what to do here. Alex is a renowned Legacy player, and he knows how to play this matchup.
Certainly one of the more respected deck builders in the community, for sure. I mean, Alex Hatfield talks and people will listen.
Absolutely, and he has a brother, right? The Hatfield brothers.
Yeah, the Hatfield brothers. Jesse Hatfield also is no slouch himself. Let's just say they both know what they're doing in this format. That's for sure. They test it in and out. They always are innovating. Like, I mean, I don't know, let's say the last 10 events he's gone to, he's probably played like 6 or 7 different decks, just trying to get the right fit, the right deck for the format.
And yeah, it's pretty interesting. Was his brother here today playing the tournament?
I didn't see him actually, no. Yeah, no, I guess not. That'd be the first, I think that's the first time I've seen them separated though. Jesse was their last weekend in DC though.
So both players are slowly building up. Eric deployed a Tarmogoyf here, and here in the semifinals of the Star City Games Open Series here in Edison, New Jersey, Eric English has that Tarmogoyf, and Alex is slowly building his resources toward his Time Spiral combo. We'll see if he's able to get it off. Alex, you played a lot of Legacy recently. How do you feel about the Time Spiral combo deck?
It's the version the new version of it with like Candelabra and stuff.
Yeah, the version that Alex is playing
it's
right
pretty
here.
solid. It it can be difficult to play. It can be like difficult to pilot around a lot of hate and play well. And, it can be easy to win with, but you have to play well because there's other prepared players. No one's gonna be like, I think people can see it coming. It's just that, just like all the combo decks, you have to know how to play them well, and that's why some people are scared of playing ad nauseum and stuff like that. They're not just decks; they're good decks, just that they're hard to people will play get spell pierced once and they'll be like, oh, tilt, but you have to really focus with these decks and have like the mental game to play these combo decks.
Right, and we watched Alix play a little bit earlier, and I mean, he was facing a couple different situations, and it might have been a little rough for anybody other player, but he was able to pilot through them.
Yeah.
He also showed a lot of restraint. He was perfectly willing to be like, look, you're just a control deck. I'm just going to sit here and build up and build up and build up until I have the perfect hand.
His opponent was just bashing with an Ethersworn Canonist while having like multiple Force Wills in hand, and he's like, well, I'm going to beat you. He's like, I know you have all those forces, but I'm just going to keep casting End-Step Meditates and letting you bash me for 2 again while I draw 4 cards.
That takes a lot of
and then, like,
patience,
I'm just going to wait here, and then the turn before you kill me, Repeal is going to destroy you. So.
Wow. Yeah, but you can certainly learn a lot by watching Alix Hatfield play.
Yep, and so Alix resolves a Cunning Wish here. He goes to his Wish board. And do you think we're going to see Echo and Truth to buy time, or do you think we're going to try and see a combo piece here? What do you think, Jake?
That's a good question. I feel like Alix might just grab, like, another pact or something like that. The way he plays, like, I wouldn't be surprised if he's just going to, like, really make sure that this is, like, a safe combo.
Yeah, he doesn't want to get blown out by a Force of Will or something similar.
It depends, though. If he doesn't have, like, another combo piece, like, if he needs, like, a turnabout or something like that, then he might just grab it.
That's what the scary part about the wishes are. You have to... Some players don't counter the wish, the Cunning Wishes. But if they Cunning Wish for a Force Will, then you're in an awkward spot. Like, oh, they already have their card, or they Cunning Wish for a Brain Freeze or something.
Ooh, Intuition. That's a pretty good spell.
Intuition's going to be great for Alix here. And let's see, that is a 5th island for Alix right here.
And now Alix is going to pass his turn here, and he's only going to need to bash like twice here, and these glyphs are going to be lethal. So
yeah, I played against this deck today, the mono blue High Tide deck. It was one of my losses. He ended up finishing 9th. Nice guy. It was it just has a lot of angles.
Oh wow, so another Time Spiral deck finished in 9th, you're saying?
Yes, that was the deck that finished 9th on Breakers. It was playing Candelabra. It was just like this deck, yeah.
Oh wow. Did it have Mind Over Matter?
I didn't see that,
So
no.
so Jace the Mind Sculptor comes down for Eric here, supplementing his double Tarmogoyfs. But Alix might just be wondering, how close am I to going off? He has a pact in his hand. He's trying to figure out what can Eric do here. So
This is kind of interesting.
Tarmogoyf, Jace on Eric's side of the board.
Alix has Intuition and another copy of Cunning Wish. So,
I mean, think of all the decision trees he has to navigate right now.
Yeah, he is the...
You think it's hard just playing a Brainstorm? Imagine it's like Brainstorm, Intuition, Pact Negation, and Cunning Wish. Right about it. Like, you have to stare at your hand and like get a grip of. It's like...
Whoa!
Those are a lot of complicated spells.
Yeah, absolutely.
If he wants to give him High Tide and then do both.
Yeah, so I think Alix looks at the sideboard again, just seeing what there is, making sure his memory serves him correctly.
Are you allowed to do that?
Yeah, you can look at your sideboard at any time. No. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they changed that rule a little while ago. It's definitely served me well on a couple of occasions where I'm like, man, I wish I knew if I still had this in my deck.
It's one of the rules that keeps changing and makes Mindslaver such a headache. It keeps changing between whether you can, when you Mindslaver someone, if you look at their sideboard right then and there or not.
I don't think
it changes all the time.
I don't think you've ever been able to look at someone's sideboard with Mindslaver.
Oh no, you have been able to. I think at some point, I don't know what the ruling is right now. You can ask,
really?
ask one of the judges.
Well,
I know that's been changed before.
Well, if anyone on Twitter knows the story, feel free to tell us. Yeah, there's definitely some interesting things going on with looking at your sideboard.
Yeah.
But like, it's gonna be really helpful when you're like, well, did I sideboard out like an equipment for sort of, for
sure. Oh,
sideboard
yeah,
Mystic or
no,
something,
It
right?
could be relevant, yeah.
I mean, you should be able to remember these things, but it doesn't hurt to double check sometimes.
There's no harm.
I mean, if you're sometimes you don't want to clog your brain with remembering all those things. Like, you can just look at it and you don't have to remember which sword you boarded out. Like, there's a lot of things going on here.
I actually looked at a sideboard cheat sheet during a game and got a match loss.
Who did?
I did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
At Grand Prix Atlanta. I had a sideboard cheat sheet in my pocket, and I looked at it in between games when I was sideboarding, and then I put it on the table. And then during the match, I picked it up to put it in my pocket. But I glanced at it for a second, and I wasn't. It was literally 2 seconds, but it's outside assistance, so I got a match loss.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, so they did change the rules so you can take outside, so you can look at outside notes while you're sideboarding, for your sideboarding purposes. But once the game has begun and you're done sideboarding, you're not supposed to look at those notes anymore.
Yeah.
But that's another change in recent years that's modified the way people have worked with their sideboards.
Sure.
So back to the game at hand. Alix still just crafting the perfect hand. He's been taking some Tarmogoyf hits, been taking a Jace. Eric just landed a Jace and is getting that going. But Alix is starting to set up. I can see the pieces coming together. He just resolved the Cunning Wish.
Yeah, I don't think he can win another turn now. I think that's a little risky. I think he has the tools he needs in his hand.
Yeah.
Has he hit all of his land drops?
I think he has not played land yet this turn, but I think he might have a land. Oh, so he goes Merchant Scroll here. And think Merchant Scrolls for High Tide?
Seems reasonable.
Yeah, maybe. I see Alix already has I think he has a force in his hand.
Ooh,
also.
his opponent has a spell snare to go with a double force. So.
Oh, wow. Alright.
Does he have...
he just spell snares the Merchant
Does
Scroll.
he have 3 blue cards at least?
I don't...
There are 4
I don't
blue
think
cards,
he
are
has,
there? Or does he just
I don't think he has that many blue cards. So Alix is thinking, well, do I want to pact here? Now, the pact is really dangerous because if he can't go off this turn, and then he passes, then he has to pay 5 next turn, and that would be lethal.
That would be it, yeah.
Yeah. But Alix has double pact.
How many counters is the Jace on?
That he just cast the Jace.
Yeah, and then
it's
it
the turn
brainstorms.
cast?
Yeah.
Brainstorm.
Yeah, I think Alix has done a great job of showing discipline so far this game, or so far in this tournament. But if he had waited one more turn here, the brainstorm from the Jace might have been too much. So, so he waited, and so he runs that pact, and the Merchant Scroll resolves. I think we're very likely to see High Tide. No, just another pact negation. He's like, no, I used my one. I need to get this back.
Wow.
So he drew out a counter spell from Eric there.
Well, now this is what we're called going all in here.
Yeah.
Now he is. Committed.
Now he is going in on this turn.
He's
Okay, so
certainly
he already had the High Tide. I didn't catch that in his hand earlier. So here comes High Tide, and Eric forces it, and back to negation back.
What's the other card in Eric's hand besides the force?
I think Alix has another pact of negation, even if.
Yeah.
So.
I was saying in Eric's hand is a force and a bolt.
Oh yeah, it's a force and a card I do not believe is a red card.
Oh,
and there's another High Tide, and there's a Time Spiral in Alix's hand. So yeah, here it is. Bam, Time Spiral. And Eric double checks the card, does exactly what he thinks it does.
That's a lot of mana stuff.
Yes, my opponent did not whiff after casting that card today.
So
he fully succeeded with the 6 mana sorcery today.
So Alix shuffles everything in, so does Eric. So Eric has a shot to draw some
Force of Wills off the top.
Force of Wills here, but still it's going to be rough. Alix does have his own Force of Wills plus Pact of Negation.
There are also 2 High Tide.
Yeah, and he's going to untap
Alex,
all
of those-
six.
each of those
Alex
islands
also
is
has
3 mana.
access right now to 18 mana. So
Yeah. Does Alix have Emrakul in his deck?
Which card?
Alex Hatfield have Emrakul.
No.
Because the person I played against definitely had Emrakul, and I died with I drew 2 Force of Wills off of the Time Spiral. I was like, oh, okay, well, we're lucky. And then he played Emrakul, and I was like, oh no.
No, to our knowledge, or actually no, we saw Alex's deck earlier, and there was no Emrakul. He does have Brain Freeze in his sideboard, Cunning Wish for.
Mind over matter.
He has Mind over Matter.
That's interesting, yeah.
And so, yeah, we were talking earlier about how this deck makes so much mana. You could realistically probably go off through a Trinisphere if you worked hard enough. I mean,
that's true.
giving his access to 18 right here, and if he had to pay a little more for his High Tides, he still might be able to go off. Maybe not in this exact situation.
Pretty sure decks don't have
but-
Force of Will, so I mean that's one less card you have to worry about there. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah, that's true. You don't want
You
to.
could have searched for more
not a
High
good combo.
Tides, and then it would have been caked.
So Time Spirals resolves. Let's see what cards are drawn by Alix and Eric here. it's always that like moment of trepidation, like after you cast a Mind's Desire or after you cast a Time Spiral, and you're slowly finding out
Awaiting
what
your
your
fate.
options are. Yeah,
It's
you're
true.
like no 7 lands, no 7 lands. You know,
Yeah.
especially with Time Spiral, like you don't get to keep anything in your hand, so you're totally at the mercy of the cards you draw. Which is why you saw Alix pile shuffle there. He can't afford to just
Yeah. It's
have
like
a
starting a
card.
new game, you know. Just
Yeah.
just
Another thing that's
shuffle
interesting
live.
is this Tarmogoyfs are 0/1s.
Oh.
I mean, it's kind of
Wow.
irrelevant. 3 pacts have gone off.
Oh. Okay.
So-
yes. Well,
You know.
that solves that. Okay. And here I was
Alix
thinking,
is,
it's like, extending our clock? What? Oh no.
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 Alex is,
Alex is clearly in this for this turn.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's not in it for the long game at this point.
It's now or never. Let's see what Alex draws here. He got 7 cards. Let's take a gander. Pulls them back. You can't quite see them. But he hasn't scooped up his cards yet, so that's a good sign. Alright, so 6 islands. All of them make 3 blue each, thanks to the power of High Tide.
3 blue.
I see a turnabout in Alex's hand. I see another High Tide.
Eric English has a Force Will and a Tarmogoyf.
Okay, does he have a blue card to force with?
I didn't see. I just know he has a Force Will and a Tarmogoyf.
Okay.
Let's see if he shuffles his
Now
hand.
they tap for 4 mana.
So now all of his islands tap for 4, which is pretty interesting.
I see. 4 mana.
Yeah.
a bit.
The
A
tide
blue
has come
Zenith
in.
here would be pretty nice.
There is a flood. A mana flood.
Yes, absolutely. So let's see what happens here.
Times like these where you're glad you don't take mana burn anymore.
It's so true, especially if your plan is like brain
Can you
freeze or
imagine?
something,
Yeah.
right?
It's like you have to play top in your deck just to empty it. Like, just get in there.
All right, so
So flood's 20.
Okay.
And
you just-
turnabout's
it's like,
20
all
in
right,
pool.
20 mana. And here's
Cunning
Wish.
Wish, 17 remaining in pool.
And do you think we're gonna see brain freeze? Actually, like,
Blue Sun Zenith, or that seems.
so what's
like
really
likely
interesting is it
choice.
used to be you could Cunning Wish for Cunning Wish a
Blue
bunch of
Sun Zenith.
times and
Yeah.
build up your storm count.
can't
but
do that anymore.
Yeah, you can no longer do that. They changed
Yeah.
how it works. Like, you only grab cards from your sideboard. Exile does not count as out of the game. But he got Blue Sun Zenith, and I think, is that enough mana to deck Eric English?
I
I'm
don't
not sure.
believe
The cards,
so.
the cards go back in from the graveyard, get shuffled back in. So I
Yeah, it might not
Eric,
be.
Eric has
So there are 7.
probably
Yeah, I
around
mean, he might just make himself
45
draw a
cards.
whole bunch of cards and
Yeah.
then.
Yeah, 45. So you would have to Zenith him for
Yeah.
45. Now, granted, if he makes Eric draw, 43 cards, he's still in pretty reasonable shape. But I think Alex has all the tools to finish him this turn.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll even have enough mana to do it for 40 or something like that.
So Alex taps his 3 islands.
So it's 29 mana in pool.
Okay. All those islands tap for 4, which is pretty ridiculous.
That's insane. Yeah.
And Alex even has the force he's holding on to there.
Yep.
Just waiting and waiting. And sitting on.
Is that a dispel in his hand?
All right, so
No,
yeah,
that's not.
he's going to Zenith, and I think this is just going to probably draw his own deck, right?
Yeah. I mean, he's just going to draw a ton of cards here.
Yep.
Now, interestingly enough, I'd just like to point out that Jared Silva, event coordinator, just from the judges booth, threw an apple about 150 feet and got it in the garbage can. He was pretty excited about it.
Oh.
No way.
Yeah.
Over there, that's what that sound was?
Yeah.
Wow. He's
That was a very
Yeah, it was
very
really
long
impressive.
distance. That was,
it is a practice to judge
the
art.
Knicks should look into this new
New
Silva
acquisition.
character.
acquisition. So I think that's for 27
so let's
cards.
go
I
back
believe.
to,
Looks like
see,
27.
and 27?
I counted correctly. I think I
Okay.
counted like how many cards he picked up.
And
but
yeah, his hand is huge now. He should have everything he ever wanted. Eric English is
Yeah,
not
27
long.
makes sense because you tap one more land after I said he had 26 floating. It should be like 30, so 30 mana.
Here's
I
Candelabra.
just counted 20. They just counted.
And so the Candelabra is going to untap all those lands.
that card went up to $100.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. It's 100. It's out of stock at $110.
Yeah.
So get your
A couple
Candelabra.
weeks ago, that card was $20.
And considering this deck's in the top 8, I would say get your Candelabra of Tanos now. I own one. I guess I need to finish my playset to build up this deck.
The thing is
I
that the
don't know
difference-
if I own any. I might.
The reason why this card is so expensive is naturally not only because it's a rare from Antiquities, but it's also because it's a 4-0. There's
Yeah.
a big difference between that and Tabernacle.
Right,
because,
right.
You know, stuff like Tabernacle and Moat are not 4-0s. This card is a 3 or a 4 in some decks, and that drives the price like crazy. Like, Imperial Recruiter is also needed
Oh,
as
yeah,
a
for
4-0.
sure.
Like, that card
And
would
it's
not be worth
impossible
that
to find.
price if it was needed as a 1-of.
It's true.
So I would say 110 is not even an unfair price for you.
Yeah, and
to
they
get
could
candelabras
just,
at.
they could just keep going up.
Yeah, it's very possible.
So, okay. So he cast Merchant Scroll for High Tide. So all of his islands tap for 5 now. He's Merchant Scrolling again. Finds another High Tide. We are going for the Blue Sun Zenith kill here, pretty clearly.
That's, yeah.
So I think he's out of floating mana because he finally had to tap an island. So he has 4 blue mana floating. All of his islands tap for 6 mana. He's got 2 candelabras in his hand.
He's got a bunch of packed negations. He's got.
This game is over. Alix is going through the motions in a very gratuitous fashion. And Eric is like, "Do you have it?" And yeah, Alix shows it to him, and that's the match. Alix Hatfield with his combo deck goes to the finals. He's going to face green, white, black
Nice.
junk.
Ely Cassis.
This is exciting.
This is very exciting. Especially
It's
because